This is audio of Chapter 8 from The Colossus Rises by Peter Larangis, read by Nicole Salcido. I ran down an empty, carpeted hallway. At the end was an exit sign pointing left with a little graphic that indicated stairs. I took the corner at top speed. I didn't expect the stairs to be so close, or to run into a card game in progress on them. "Whoa, where are you going?" Allie cried out. She, Marco, and Cass jerked backward as I tripped over the steps. Marco caught me mid-fall, but didn't let go. "Sup, Jack? Didn't Begad explain everything?" "You mean the part about him saving my life?" I said, struggling to pry myself loose. "Or turning me into a DC Comics hero?" "Are you a DC guy?" Cass asked. "Mosawa." Meaning awesome. Cass likes to talk backward, Allie explained. "I'm a fan of the old-school Superman TV series. With George Reeves?" They were all crazy. "Get me out of here. I want to see the head of this place." "You just did," Cass said. "Well, he's not the head of the whole thing." But Marco was already dragging me back toward the room. "Just do this, okay?" he said through clenched teeth. "Don't be a pain in the butt." "By the great Kolani, what are you doing to him?" Begad's voice thundered as he came around the corner. "If he pops those stitches, we lose him." Marco loosened his grip. I shot upstairs and pulled open the door, to the sound of a piercing alarm. 3 guards pivoted on their heels and faced me, hands on their weapons. I stopped in my tracks. I was trapped. "Jack," Begad said softly from the bottom of the steps, "I have PhDs from Yale and Cambridge. If you think I'm crazy, then you must think your 3 friends are too. And Torquine and the guards. And 79 world-class experts in genetics, biophysics, classical archaeology, geography, computer science, mythology, medicine, and biochemistry. Not to mention a support staff of 228. The Karai Institute is the finest think tank in the world. And we are patient. We can wait until you're ready to listen. But you will not escape. So it's either now or later. Your choice." "I don't believe a word of it," I said. Begad beckoned me to come down the stairs. "Marco, Cass, Allie, would you kindly turn your backs?" Marco spun around first, and my jaw nearly dropped. Buried in his dark mop of hair was a white upside-down V. Cass's too. "Mine is under the dye," Allie explained. I swallowed hard. I took a couple of steps downward. The guard slammed the door shut. "So, you're all—" "The lambda is a unique physical sign," Begad explained. "We don't understand the mechanics of it. The hair changes rather quickly and at virtually the same age among all who have the condition. But we do know its significance. It is common to one group of people whom we call the select." "Select? What are we selected for? Something good?" I asked. "Yes and no," the professor replied. "Each of you has a rare genetic marker. It is an extraordinary gift, but it also happens to be a ticking bomb. Jack, we were hoping to have 5 of you here, including a young man called Randall Cromarty. You know the name?" I was about to say no, but the name did ring a bell. A news item. A grainy video that had been circulating for the last week or so. Some kid rolling a gutter ball, throwing up his hands, dropping to the floor. The story Dad had sent me. The kid who died in the bowling alley? Begad nodded. At the age of 13, in Illinois. Cause unknown. Before him, a girl named Sue Sigunson fell into a fatal coma while in a San Diego mall, also 13. And Mo Roberts, playing catch with his little sister. In all cases, our medical team was too late. but we found you in time. Torquine, I said. Dr. Sark. But how did they know? For that, you can thank our IT staff, Begad said. After your last checkup, Dr. Flood made a note on your computerized medical records about the very beginnings of the Lambda. Our tracking software picked it up. You hacked my medical records? My checkup had been about a week before the math test, a day before Dad left for Singapore. Had Dr. Flood mentioned anything about a mark on the back of my head? I couldn't remember. Hacking is such an ugly word, Begad replied wearily. So, what does the Lambda mean? I asked. Think of those nightly news headlines, the stories that float around social media like crazy. Begad smiled. An ordinary person lifts an entire car to free a trapped loved one. A kid considered mentally defective draws ornate cathedrals from memory to the tiniest detail. As humans, we access only part of our brain's capacity, but these people have tapped into a vast unused area of the brain that we call the serosacrum. What does that have to do with us? I asked. Some people breach the serosacrum temporarily in response to crisis, Begad replied. Some are born with a bit of access, not much. But what if the serosacrum's gate could be lifted? Not just the rare flash of genius or the momentary feat of strength, but total access. Imagine, in each of us lies the potential to do superhuman things. Feats of great physical daring, art, science, the ability to defy laws of nature. Am I clear, Jack? Allie, Cass, and Marco were grinning at me now. My mind was a big fog of duh. No. Some genes are buried deeply in our DNA, Begad continued. For example, we all possess the code for a tail, for gills, but these are not expressed as we say. Nature has shut the mechanism except in extremely rare cases. Being able to open the serosacrum gate is like having a tail. The genetic ability is there, but 99.9999% of the world's people do not express it. You four, he glanced slowly at each of us, are the 0.0001. Now it was becoming clear, and the clarity hurt. You mean we're all genetic mutants? Yes, in a good way, Begad said. You four possess what we call G7W. It's a marker, a piece of genetic code. We do not understand how it works, but we know what it indicates. You are the elite, the top of the top, the ones whose serosacrum can be cracked wide open. Millennia ago, this ability may have existed in many, if not all, humans. Wait, I said. Evolution is survival of the fittest. So if you had dudes who were superhumans way back then, why wouldn't they have survived till now? Because those who die early are, by definition, not the fittest. Begad leaned forward. Jack, we ran a genetic map of Randall Cromartie's DNA after he died. And Sue Gudmundson's and Mo Roberts. They all had G7W. I looked from Allie to Marco to Cass. Their faces were drawn. So all of us, we're gonna die? I asked. No one who has had this marker has lived past the age of 14, Begad said. For whatever reason, the gene kicks into action around your age, and its actions are too powerful to be withstood by the body, which is why we brought you here. We have developed a treatment. The operation on your head was the first step. You will be required to undergo regular procedures every 10 days or so. Your first will be in about 72 hours. But we cannot keep you alive forever. There is a point after which nothing can be done. A sort of expiration date we can read in your genome. And that is what scares me. The fact that all our science is still not enough to keep you alive. I sank to the stairs. The carpet felt clammy. The walls felt cold. It was as if the stairwell itself were my coffin. I wouldn't leave here without dying. I wouldn't see my dad ever again. I might develop a power or two in the meantime, maybe paint a cathedral or twirl a helicopter in my bare hands. And then? So your job is to study us, I said. We're your superhero guinea pigs. So what happens when we're dead? Will you call our families and friends, or just have Torquine dump our bodies in the sea? Yo, hear him out, brother, Marco said. I'm not your brother, I snapped. Here's the deal, Professor Bagad. Call my dad. Give him your location. Let him come here so I can see him. Jack, please, Bagad said. Your father would snatch you back in an instant. The worst thing that could happen to you. Besides, it would be impossible to give him these coordinates. This place is not visible by ordinary means. Radar, sonar, GPS, none of them register here. These are forces. There are forces on this island. Even we do not understand. Then go get him and bring him here, I said. If he knows I need the treatments, he'll stay. He'll help. We can't risk that, Bagad shouted. Your lungs need air. Your eyes need light, but your serosacrum needs something here in the earth itself. Eons ago, this island was a continent. Its people created grand architecture, made extraordinary music, governed with fairness and sophistication. It was protected by a curious flux point of natural forces within the earth. Electromagnetic, gravitational, perhaps extraterrestrial. When the place was destroyed, the forces were too. Bagad's phone beeped. He snatched it angrily from his pocket and looked at the screen. Dude, man up to this, Marco said to me. We're on what's left of Atlantis, and we're like great to a zillionth descendants. Atlantis? Very funny, I said, attempting a laugh. No one else laughed with me. I looked toward Professor Bagad, but he was texting, his face lined with concern. As he snapped it shut, he said, I must go. But yes, Marco is correct. You are connected to Atlantis by blood. Your serosacrum must feed off the ancient power in order to survive. But that power must be found. I swallowed hard. Allie and Cass were looking pale and frightened. How? I asked. Bagad stood. He pocketed his phone and began edging up the stairs toward the building's exit. We don't know where it is now. The power of Atlantis was stolen, broken up, and hidden all over the world. You must find what was taken. Your lives will be saved, Jack, if you locate all the elements of that power. You must bring them together and return it to Atlantis. Bagad's phone beeped again, and before I could say a word, he was up the stairs and gone.